You are about to hear something that, officially, does not exist. Something that is not listed in any public record, that does not appear on any frequency map, and that the government itself denies any knowledge of. Still, for decades, some people claim that, when the clock strikes exactly 3:17 a.m., an enigmatic signal invades the silence of the radio waves. They call it frequency 43.9. The first mention of this frequency appeared on a closed forum for amateur radio operators in 1996. A user described picking up a transmission of noise interspersed with children's voices, as if they were old recordings. At times, the children laughed. At others, they just repeated incomplete, nonsensical words. The report was ignored at the time, as if it were just another tuning error. But it wasn't. The following year, another operator, this time in Ukraine, said they heard the exact same thing. Children's voices, the constant noise, and a sound in the background that resembled footsteps on wood. The coincidence drew attention, as the transmissions occurred at the same time and, according to them, with the same interval pattern between sounds. From then on, the stories began to multiply. Reports from different countries described not only the voices, but also something more disturbing. Some said they heard whispers between the recordings, as if someone was speaking directly to their listener. Short phrases, almost always in the listener's local language. Messages like "you shouldn't be here" or "stop listening now" were the most common. Investigations led nowhere. Frequency 43.9 is not listed in any known commercial or military band. The few who tried to track the origin discovered something even stranger. The signal seemed to move. One night, the source was detected somewhere, in the North Atlantic. The next night, it appeared off the coast of Japan. How would this be possible? Some believe it is an old military experiment, a form of communication test that eventually leaked. Others say it is a disguised number station, used to send secret instructions to undercover agents. But there is a much darker theory. In 2003, an independent researcher named Daniel Worth published a report claiming that frequency 43.9 could be related to a series of child disappearances in the 80s. Worth found, in old audio files, identical snippets to what amateur radio operators reported hearing. The tapes were from police investigations and contained recordings of interrogations and interviews with the families of the missing. His conclusion was simple and disturbing. Someone was transmitting snippets of these tapes on the mysterious frequency decades later. The problem is that, a few days after releasing the report, Worth disappeared. There is no record of travel, sale of goods, or any indication of him fleeing. He simply was never seen again. His last known activity was sending an email to a colleague with an audio file titled 3_17.wav. The file was never found. Still, some curious people tried to continue the investigation. One of them, who requested anonymity, said they managed to record part of a transmission. In the audio, it is clearly possible to hear a child's voice saying, "You already know where I am," before a high-pitched noise covers everything. After that, only silence. From that moment on, those who try to listen to the frequency start reporting strange problems. Electronic devices failing without explanation, noises inside the house during the early morning hours, and, in some cases, anonymous phone calls with breathing on the other end of the line. It's impossible to say whether this is just paranoia, or if there is something, or someone, monitoring those who get too close. The doubt is inevitable. If this frequency doesn't officially exist, why do so many stories coincide? Why do different people, in different countries and with no contact with each other, describe the exact same transmissions? You can try to tune in. All you need is a shortwave radio and the patience to stay awake until 3:17 a.m. But perhaps that's not a good idea. If what they say is true, the signal isn't just picked up, it also picks you up. Now that you know about frequency 43.9, the choice is yours. Some people who listened were never the same again. Others were never seen again. Continue exploring these mysteries and find out how far they can go. Subscribe so you don't miss the next reports. What do you believe frequency 43.9 is? A technological coincidence, a secret experiment, or something that goes beyond what we can explain? The only certainty is that, if you decide to listen, you might find that the signal was waiting for you the whole time.